Another Monday at 7:30 in the series. It is the Inside the Dam podcast. And hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Cole Clementich. Proud to bring you guys another fantastic show into a great journey that we've had going on here, dating back to last fall. We're live high above 11th Avenue, also known as Beaver Boulevard, inside Swain Hall at the MSU Podcast Studios. And before we get into it tonight, folks, let me tell you all about Papa John's, as they are the proud sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Be sure to hit them up on their website. Search for any deals that they have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot on your device. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and Papa John's for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. I almost forgot to introduce Marie is sitting behind the scenes for us, handling the cameras tonight. So thank you again, Marie. But on the show tonight, it is a wrestling-themed show, folks. So be sure to stay tuned all throughout, as we got wrestlers from near and afar. And this first guest here tonight joins us from West Jordan, Utah, in Copper Hills High School. A true freshman, Bella Hernandez, joins us here tonight. Bella, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Bella. So as starting out here at Minot State, just kind of talk about, tell us your story a little bit, how the transition from going from Utah to Minot. First impressions. Let's talk about first impressions here about Minot. What did you think so far when you first came here?
It's really cold. I like it a lot. It's a small town, definitely different from where I've lived before, but I think that the wrestling is awesome, and my coaches and team support me a lot, so that's really nice.
No, that is good. And, Coach Mitchum, props to her. She is just fantastic, with all the girls and being able to bring in some of the top talent around the country. And you're another one of the crew. Tell us a little bit about, the team that you've gotten used to, maybe some of the teammates by now, but, just kind of tell us, first wrestling season for you getting started, just underway. First impressions about that, and tell us more on how you've been feeling so far.
We're a really young team. I mean, it's just freshman and sophomore, so we have a lot of growing to do. But I think we have the hardest working team. Our girls work so hard, and there's a lot of talent in the room. I just think it's really raw. We have a lot of potential, so it's kind of just getting started and seeing where we go from there.
Yeah, and who knows? Yeah, there's a lot of potential with you guys, and a lot of things, a lot of moving parts that are going to be rolling on ahead here as you guys are just kicking off the brand new season. You guys recently had the inter-squad match. Tell us, how was that to be able to experience such a thing and to be first time playing in the giant MSU Dome?
It was so fun, but I was so nervous. It was a great opportunity, though, because they really made it special with, the boys and girls, and, we ran out, and we had, other coaches come and coach us. It was a really special thing. I liked it a lot.
I got to ask because, Jana McKechnie, the assistant AD for external ops, and Alex Courtney, if you guys did not know, they were kind of honorary coaches for this Beaver inter-squad wrestling duels. And for them, not knowing much about the sport of wrestling, Bella, could just kind of, how cool was that to, have someone else in there to, have some fun, get creative, and to put on a good show for the fans?
Yeah, it was really funny. They didn't know a lot, so they kind of just were, really supportive. But honestly, it was so nice to just have support in your corner and not, just moves getting yelled at you the whole time. It was, since they didn't know what moves we were even doing, it was, they were just constantly come on, let's go. So that was nice.
Yeah, just words of encouragement, you're doing great, you're doing great. Yeah, that's really cool, though. But so the first inner squad out of the way, you guys have the Beaver Bash Duels coming up here this weekend. Just kind of give us a little insight on, what are you yourself expecting, and how do you hope for things to turn out for the women's squad?
We have some pretty talented teams. I know we have Jamestown coming in. They're pretty established. They've had a girls team for a little bit now. So we're definitely going to get some good competition, which I'm really excited for, because I would way rather have good competition. That way we're getting the best of our time. I hope to win all my matches, but if I don't, I just hope to learn from them and use what I lost and learn and take it to the rest of the season.
Yeah, it helps to, compete against some of the best, so you can not only just compete, learn more, but, to be able to, take a book or take a page out of their book from them. But speaking of matches, in your collegiate debut at the Eagle Madness tournament, you went 3-2. Very impressive start to your collegiate career. Kind of thoughts on how that went for you going in, and just talk more about the results. Hosted by Life University. That's a long trip.
Yeah, it was really long. It was crazy, though. I honestly didn't expect to do that good. My goal going into there, I was like, I will be so proud of myself if I win one match, because there was so many established teams. Some are top, I think my coach said there was top 14 in the nation or something.
Wow.
Some teams there. And so, and girls from all ages, freshmen to senior, so all different experience level. But I won my first match, and I was like, yay, I'm proud. And then I won my second match, and I was like, holy crap. And then I won my third match, and it was just insane, because I don't know, I didn't expect to do that good, and I am really happy with the progress I have made since last year to now.
Did you have any butterflies going into that first match, that first collegiate match?
Yeah, I lost my first one really bad. So that was kind of upsetting, because I was like, dang, this is way harder than I thought it would be.
Wanted to make an early first impression.
Yeah, and I was really nervous for the rest of my matches, and I also just came off of injury kind of, and so this was my first tournament back since then, so I was so nervous, but really grateful that I'm finally healthy to wrestle again.
Going away from the mats here, have you found yourself a major? And more on that, talk about, campus life so far. What do you enjoy about, the whole scene here in the Magic City?
Okay, so I'm an elementary education major. I'm hoping to teach kindergarten or first grade. And I like Minot a lot. It's small, and I like that a lot of entertainment is on campus. They always make sure we're trying to have fun. I like all the MSU Life events, so they're really fun.
Going into, all of that with life in the classroom, but also, on the mats, this first year, it's still very fluid, but, just kind of talk about, what are some goals, or what do you hope to learn, your first year here at Minot State, and no matter what capacity it is?
I would say school-wise, try to maintain A's and B's, and just be very successful in my classes, because school comes first to me. And then on the mat, I would say just have fun and really learn from this year, because this year is going to be my foundation to the rest of the years moving on. So
awesome. Well, we love to hear that, Bella. Anything else you'd like to mention to the fans listening or watching before we send you off here?
I just want to thank my parents and all my coaches and friends, and for always supporting me, because I wouldn't be here without them. So
hey, big shout out to the family, and for you guys watching, you did a great job and continue to do a great job supporting family and friends. But that is going to do it. Bella, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
That was women's wrestler, true freshman Bella Hernandez, native of West Jordan, Utah, and one of Copper Hills High School's finest. And she also going 3-2 in her collegiate debut at the Eagle Madness tournament this past weekend. this upcoming Friday, be sure to check out the Beaver Bash Duels. We're going to be prepping that all show long here, guys. So, and we'll also have a recap on that later. But before we take a quick break, let us remind you again that Papa John's is the premier sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Hit them up on their website. Search for any and all deals that they have going on your device. Search up Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached via the phone lines at 701-852-7272, or that's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and Papa John's for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast each and every night. When we come back here, folks, you're going to hear from a senior wrestler from the men's team this time, also a biology major, and you might recognize him as he is one of the Magic City's finest. We'll be back after this quick break. You're watching the Inside the Dam podcast. And welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. As always, live here on the KMSU Podcast YouTube channel. We're also going to have a copy posted up later on the MSU Beavers page, and also be on the lookout for the press release on the website. And we had a great chat with Bella Hernandez, true freshman from the women's wrestling team, and the theme rolls on here tonight. As before we get into our next guest, also from the men's wrestling team this time, we're going to remind you again that Papa John's is proud to sponsor the Inside the Dam podcast. Be sure to hit them up on their website and search for any deals that they have going on your device. Search Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272, or let me rephrase that, that's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. Great acronym, and as always, job well done. Great food, great pizza, made courtesy of Admir and the Papa John's crew, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast each time we go live Monday nights at 7:30. For our next guest here tonight, again, we stay on the topic of wrestling, and he is also a biology major here on campus and a senior and also a former state champion from Minot High School. And we're going to be talking a lot about the Magicians tonight. Now bringing on in friend of the program, Kelby Armstrong. This is his second appearance on the show. Kelby, thanks for being on again.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Kelby. So I got to get it out of the way here first right away. Minot High football state champs. We're both alumni. How cool was that to witness that, to see them finally break over the hump?
For sure. It was pretty awesome. I think it was 43 years since they last got the title there. They were in the title game a couple times before that within the past 10 years or so, and finally got it done. So pretty cool deal. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. So, well, we have had you on the show before, so we're going to kind of switch things up here a little bit. So you're now getting started in your senior year. Hard to believe you're already at this point of your collegiate career. You just talk, how crazy is that? And, kind of talk the expectations, you maybe have for yourself in this upcoming year.
For sure. Yeah. Been a crazy ride so far. A lot of support from the Minot community. Staying in the hometown, wrestling here in Minot for the university. But, yeah, super excited for the season. Really big expectations for the team this year. Got a few transfers coming in, some young guys cracking into the lineup, and then some guys, plenty of returners as well that are ready to do some damage and help put some points on the board.
Yeah, I've seen some of the performances actually during the inter-squad duels, a lot of first impressions being made, and good ones at that too. And Kelby, just kind of talking here, what was that like to be able to kind of get, shake some rust off? Obviously, you guys have had practice for a few times. I know Hell Week is pretty popular amongst your guys' group, or I don't know how you guys view it individually, but, as a group, Hell Week is consistent every year, but, just shaking some of that rust off early going here in the inter-squad duels. How was that? And, just kind of tell us, how were you feeling afterwards?
Good, yeah. These first couple meets of the year, they're an opportunity to see some new competition. Some that's going to be in conference, some that isn't in our conference, like this week on Friday. But yeah, just a couple times they get used to getting down to weight, and and getting out there and scrapping a little bit. So, yep.
I think the one thing that people forget is that you guys, I think, performed way higher above expectations. You guys went 8-9 as a team. Just talk about really what went through it like last season. What did you guys take from last year, and what do you hope to apply into this upcoming year for the wrestling guys?
Yeah, for sure. Last year, we made some big stepping stones especially in our dual meets. We took a win over Mankato for the first time in school history. That was pretty big. Couple just dual meets like that are a lot of fun to be a part of. The ones that are close and that you're maybe not supposed to win on paper, but the ones that you come out on top like that are pretty fun to be a part of. So, looking forward to more opportunities like that this season. I think we have the crew to do that. So.
And now minus the, moving on from the inter-squad duels, you guys actually got some reps going on here. And last weekend, you guys went to Jamestown for the Jimmy Open. You actually won in your weight class. Tell us, how cool is that for you to be able to accomplish that? And walk us through some of the competition, like some of the teams that were down there.
For sure. Yeah, I think like UMary was there, and then a couple other local schools, Jamestown, Concordia, all really good wrestling programs. So kind of a smaller tournament overall, but definitely not any competition you can look over for sure. So good opportunity to face some out-of-conference competition and some in-conference guys as well. So
yeah, I hear a lot of pride of ND in some of those matchups for the Jimmy Open last weekend taking place. And you also competed again this past weekend at the Dakota Wesleyan Open. You almost took that one too, but just kind of walk us through some of these early reps going on in the non-conference season. What have you been able to gain so far to this point of the season, heading into the first home duel of the year?
Yeah, I think as these opens go on, we're able to shake out kind of what our lineup's going to look like. It's this past weekend, we got to see some teams we've never wrestled before, guys that you typically won't face during the dual season. So it's always just more. It's interesting to wrestle guys that you've never seen before, get different looks, and it always helps out your wrestling and help you move toward the end of the season.
Already 27 career wins to your name in 3+ seasons here at Minot State. This is it for you. Obviously, senior year's going to be last one, best one. What do you hope to accomplish and maybe even learn as the season rolls along here?
For sure, yeah. The ultimate goal is always to get into the national tournament and All-American. So just trying to work toward that, and I have been trying to work toward that every year. And just like everyone else on our team has been doing, I think hopefully we can get some guys through the region tournament this year and get to the national tournament in Wichita, Kansas. So pretty fun and exciting deal.
Yeah, and rumor has it you guys also host, or Minot State rather, host the Super Region 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
When you first heard about that, how cool was it to hear that news and, to kind of see the recognition that not just Minot State, but the city of Minot is getting?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I think we take pride in Region 5. It's definitely one of the tougher regions in the nation to make it out of to get to the national tournament. So it's some of the best wrestling you can find across the country, and it's pretty cool that it's right in our backyard here in Minot. We can sleep in our own beds before one of the bigger tournaments of the year for us and be ready to go compete. So fun to be a part of.
Absolutely, and going to be, like you said, a lot of fun going into that, and to see something that Minot State hasn't, or the city of Minot, quite frankly, hasn't seen before ever. And of course, we noted earlier that you're a biology major. What have you learned since, or tell us more about some of the classroom life since we've had you last on the podcast? I think it was either last semester or last fall. Just tell us, what have you taken from classroom life? What have you learned since that point, and anything different that has stood out to you?
Yeah, I think Minot State has been a great place for my education. Smaller class sizes, and especially with science and it being a very rigorous major, it helps having smaller class sizes and being closer with my professors and being able to relate to them. And, it's been a good thing to be a part of, and it's helped me out with learning and moving toward and working toward a future career.
Last thing here, Kelby, before we send you off, any words of advice for the underclassmen on the wrestling team or just some wrestlers out there trying to get recruited or maybe in the transfer portal, and maybe some words of wisdom for the Minot High wrestlers too, since you're an alum?
Yeah, for sure. I would just say keep working hard and, set goals. And, there's never goals that are too great. And just be consistent. I think consistency is one of the toughest things to do in this sport. And I think maintaining that is you can do a lot of good things. So.
Again, we noted Beaver Bash Duels taking place this weekend. It's Military Appreciation Day also, so all military members can get in for free, and that is going to be, a nice touch there, just getting past Veterans Day here this past weekend. Kelby, anything else you'd like to mention to the fans before we let you go?
Nothing much. Just come out to our duel on Friday. We wrestle Saskatchewan and Northland Community College, so should be a fun time. Some good wrestling, both on the women's side and men's side. So hope to see some people there and get a decent crowd.
Sweet. Yeah, I heard from the other GAs and Sports Information that is going to be a busy night there in the MSU Dome. So again, fans, those of you watching, be sure to check out the Beaver teams in action this Friday in the MSU Dome for the Beaver Bash Duel. But you just heard senior men's wrestler Kelby Armstrong, and a biology major, and Minot High School's finest competitors and student athletes, of course. And he also won the season opening Jimmy Open a couple weekends ago. And before we kick it off to another break here, folks, and leading into our next guest, oh boy, Papa John's, they got the deals, and they got great pizza and great food as always. Be sure to hit them up on their website. Search for any deals that they may have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot on your device. And if you call them via the phone lines, they can be reached at 701-852-7272, or that is 852-PAPA to place an order. Again, you call them, they can get you all hooked up. Admir and Company, we thank them for their patronage to the Inside the Dam podcast. We're going to take another break here, folks. When we come back, the final guest, another men's wrestler, this time a transfer from West Hills College in California. More details when we come back here on the Inside the Dam podcast. And welcome back for the third and final guest of the night here, ladies and gentlemen, on the Inside the Dam podcast. Again, also a big thanks to Marie Audette for stepping in and handling the camera duties tonight and getting some valuable experience. Thank you, Marie, as always, for stepping in tonight. And before we introduce our final guest, of course, we just got done talking with Kelby Armstrong, finest pride of the Magic City at Minot High School, and a biology major and a senior on the men's wrestling team. But before we introduce our third and final guest here, folks, let me tell you again, Papa John's, they are proud to sponsor the Inside the Dam podcast each and every Monday night that we go live. Be sure to hit them up on their website. Search for any deals that they have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached via the phone lines at 701-852-7272, or that's 852-PAPA, and that is how you can place an order over the phone. Again, be sure to reach out to Admir and Company and tell them the Inside the Dam podcast sent you, and we thank them for their tremendous support of the podcast each and every Monday night that we go live here in the KMSU podcast studios. Again, thank you guys for tuning in, as always, on the YouTube live stream. Again, we'll have a copy in the MSU Beavers YouTube page as well. And now, kicking off the final guest here of the night here, folks, a junior transfer out of West Hills College in California, and also a native of California, also won his weight class at the Dakota Wesleyan Open this past weekend. Wayne Joint joins us. Wayne, good to have you on board here. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Wayne. So, we'll start with the Dakota Wesleyan Open. You won your weight class this weekend. Tell us, obviously we know the result, but how did it go for you? And, just going in and seeing the results after and feeling through the whole process.
Yeah, it was a tough tournament. It was a bigger tournament than last week, so I didn't really have too many expectations going in. Just wrestling each match as it comes. I wrestled one of the guys the week before, had a close one with him, but yeah, just wrestling each match as it comes and trying not to look too far ahead in the bracket and just taking it a match at a time.
Yeah, taking it one by one. Yeah, not a bad strategy as always. Is mostly all teams really do that, but talking more here. So you also competed in the Jimmy Open. Well, first, before we get into that, starting off your career here at Minot State, first of all, the transition going from one college to another, some athletes can say that they've gone through the transfer portal for either sometimes all the right or wrong reasons. But, for you, talk about your experience transitioning from West Hills College in California to up north to Minot State.
It was a little tough at first. It's definitely a lot colder up here than I'm used to. It's like 70 degrees over in California right now.
Man.
But yeah, it's nice. But it first couple months, was kind of getting used to it, getting to know the team, kind of building a relationship with people, figuring out my way around town, around college. But I feel good now that we've got that we've got our season going. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Glad to be up in Minot.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, first impressions of the Magic City. Obviously, the cold stands out, but yeah, I wish we kind of had the California weather right now. But yeah, we're actually setting up for the bubble right now, and fortunate to have 50s this week. But talk your first impressions of Minot, or kind of expand on that a little bit.
Well, I'm from Lemoore. It's Central Valley, California, so there's not really too much to do in Lemoore. It's kind of like a farm town. It's a little smaller than Minot, but kind of reminds me of where I'm from. Besides, California, you can go to the beaches, to the mountains and stuff, but yeah, it kind of reminds me of Lemoore.
No, that's good. And, there's some certain places like that exist. And, sometimes some of us, we may even forget that is such the case. And, Wayne, talking about, your early start to your career, 6-1 start, already making an impact for the team. Tell us more on, how that got to be. What have you been able to take away thus far to this point?
Well, I'm excited that season's going. I think that I've wrestled pretty good so far. I lost a match in the Jimmy Open. Wanted to get that back later in the season. I'll see him later in a duel, but I think I've wrestled pretty well, and I think our team's wrestled pretty well too. We've had a lot of placers last Open, this Open, and just gonna carry that forward into next week.
Yeah, and we were just talking with Kelby last segment. You weren't a part of the team, but the Beaver men's wrestling squad, they actually, I think they might have even exceeded expectations. If you ask me, in my honest opinion, how do you hope to contribute, add on to that, and be able to add or continue on this upward trend that the men's wrestling team is going through?
Just win my matches. I think everyone on the team's like a little block. Everyone's important, from the starters to the true freshmen. But yeah, I think we're gonna keep getting better. We're gonna keep going uphill. Yeah, I think we have a good team this year.
No, that is good for sure. Good mentality. And Wayne, just talking here, obviously you guys got done. We've been discussing a lot of the inter-squad duels that took place a couple weekends ago, but the first one legit this time, your first experience inside the MSU Dome for wrestling against a team that is also not in red or gray in those Beaver singlets. Just talk about, what are you hoping to see, or what are your expectations, of this upcoming first Beaver Bash Duel this weekend, your first home meet, your first official home meet?
Yeah. I think we're gonna win all our matches. I think I'll go out there and do well. Just wrestle how I know how to wrestle, do what I know how to do. But yeah, I think we're gonna do good, and I'm excited to actually get to wrestle in front of a home crowd instead of in at some college somewhere else. So yeah, it's exciting, but yeah.
Yeah, and you get the opportunity to perform in front of, all big crowds. They've had some solid polls for attendance. Some of these wrestling meets that have taken place before you got here to Minot. So yeah, it should be a fun one and an interesting one for sure. And you guys competing against multiple teams, and yeah, be sure again, folks, check out the Beaver Bash Duels this Friday. But Wayne, sticking away or moving away here from the wrestling mats here, just kind of talk about, what studies have you focused on, and, of course, transferring of credits from West Hills College. What do you like to major in? What's the classroom life looking like for you?
It's a lot like my old college. It was a community college, so it was smaller classes, and they're about the same size up here. So I like the small classroom. Getting to know the professor, getting to know the students in the classroom. But I'm going into psychology.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm wanting to keep that going. Probably try and get into a graduate program. But yeah, I'm wanting to go into research psychology.
There you go. If you ever see Katie Clementich, that's my sister, be sure to say hi to her, as she's also a psych major. But yeah, Minot State, they have a lot of good programs here, obviously for the undergrads, but also in graduate school as well. So yeah, Wayne, happy to have you on board here. Just kind of as we get close to wrapping things up here, just kind of tell us, with the start that you had so far, what is your, any end goals for the rest of the season? What are some things that you hope to accomplish, hope to learn, and so on and so forth as we get started here in the heart of wrestling season?
Well, my end goal is I want to get up on the podium. I think I'm good enough. I think I have what it takes to get there, but it's a long season. We're just like three weeks into it, and it's already tough. My body is a little sore, but yeah, it's a long season, but my end goal is to get up on the podium.
There you go. Yeah, be sure to give that body some rest for sure, Wayne. And anything else you'd like to mention to the fans watching on the live stream? Of course, we mentioned a couple times Beaver Bash Duels starting this Friday, I believe noon and at 3 p.m. Anything else you'd like to let the fans know of?
I'd just like to give a shout out to my practice partner, Nick Womack.
There you go. Shout out to Nick for helping out Wayne here, our guest here on the show. Yeah, good stuff there, Wayne. And that is going to do it for us. Wayne, thank you for being on the Inside the Dam podcast today. We wish you all the best this season, and of course to the rest of the men's wrestling team, and of course to the women's team as well. So Wayne, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, there you have it, folks. That was Wayne Joint, a junior transfer out of West Hills College in California, from Lemoore, California as well, and 6-1 to start his Minot State career. And that is it for the three guests tonight here, folks. We're actually going to take one more quick break, I'll be able to wrap up the show. Plus, we're going to be promoting a few agenda items for athletics this week and also for the show itself. Marie, feel free to stay for that, but you're also free to go if you want to be done, but I can handle that. But either or, again, thanks to Marie for stepping in, handling the cameras tonight. And before we take it off to our next time off here, let me tell you again, Papa John's, they are the sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Be sure, hit them up on their website, search for any and all deals. They're going to have crazy deals that are just going to be hard to pass up. They got great food, great pizza. Papa John's has it. Just search them up, Papa John's in Minot on your device, and you can call them at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. We're going to take one more break, and when we come back, show recap and some items to look over on the agenda. We'll be back after this. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Inside the Dam podcast. Again, I'm your host, Cole Clementich, joined alongside the camera girl for the night, Marie Audette. And thank you, as always, to Marie for helping out and contributing to the Inside the Dam podcast, her first show tonight as well. But we had a great show here tonight. It was a wrestling-themed program. We had Bella Hernandez kicking us off, the true freshman from the women's wrestling team, native of West Jordan in Utah and from Copper Hills High School. We also had Kelby Armstrong, alumni of Minot High School, and a senior with big aspirations. And one of the junior transfers joining men's wrestling this year was Wayne Joint. He comes from West Hills College in California. So great conversations with them. But for this segment of the show, I'm going to have Marie show off to you guys some things that we're going to discuss through. And there should be one on the very top there, Marie, that says Inside the Dam Notes. It should be the red with the white striped pattern. And so if you see on your screen, that is what is to be expected here coming up. So some important notes here, guys. So next semester, spring 2024, the COM 328, the play-by-play class, will be contributing to the show as part of a class assignment. So you will not see me, you will likely not see me back behind the host chair, but I will still be here to kind of oversee operations and, of course, post-production, editing, all that stuff. Another key ingredient here in the list, Hartnett Hall has their grand reopening sometime this winter break. We'll see, progress has been significant. And if you recall from before the Inside the Dam podcast days, we had studios in the old Hartnett, and they made plans. The school was able to receive a grant, and they chose it to reinvent Hartnett Hall in a way. So it's going to be all nice, brand new. The Inside the Dam podcast will be moving to a brand new KMSU podcast studio, so we will no longer be in Swain, but that is some exciting news to be on the lookout for when we have that very first show from the new studios. And then last one here, no Inside the Dam podcast during Christmas break. The series will resume in January. And Marie, if you want to pull up the graphic next to it, you'll see opening 2024 Hartnett Hall. So that is already a nice blueprint of what the building is supposed to look like. It is going to be fantastic. Was fortunate enough to do a couple tours in there, and yeah, it's going to be all nice and dandy. And Marie, if you want to pull down COM 328, that is the play-by-play communication. It has the red patterns and the camera picture there, and you see on your screen here in a moment. It's actually delayed on my end, and there we go. So yeah, COM 328. This is more so for students. It's now being offered in the 2024 spring semester. Have any interests, contact Neil Roberts, neil.roberts at minotstateu.edu. Again, we were letting you guys know earlier. They will be helping out with the Inside the Dam podcast as part of a classroom assignment. And yeah, that should be all nice and dandy. Next one, Marie, I'm going to have you showcase it might be hard to see, but upcoming home games and promotions. It's got a women's basketball graphic and the women's wrestling for the Beaver Bash Duels. We told you guys all night long, the Beaver Bash Duels, we've been pounding it. This week, or Friday, women kick off at noon and the men starting at 3 p.m. Military Appreciation Day also, so big shout out to all the veterans out there, and be sure to come out to the MSU Dome. Of course, we thank you guys for your service. And then MSU Women's Basketball home opener tip-off at 2 p.m. this Saturday, November 18th. And it's also Youth League Appreciation Day, where your youth basketball jersey and get in with free admission. Free admission goes for the military members as well. And I believe that is actually, there is more. Marie, if you want to pull up the Minot High graphic, Minot State Athletics would like to congratulate the Minot High football team. And you heard it earlier. We were talking with Kelby about it. North Dakota Class AAA state champions. And big congrats, again, goes out to them. And to all their accomplishments and the seniors ending off on a high note to their careers. And of course, we know Minot State football has been watching intently, and we hope to see some of those guys, on the team in the near future. Another important note, Marie, this should be the last one if I'm not mistaken. If I forget one, I'll just add it to the Adobe post-production process. But Thanksgiving message. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. We will not be having a show next week because it is Thanksgiving week, and we just want to give the athletes some time to travel, rest a bit, and we were very fortunate to have the schedule that we had go our way this semester. So we're going to take a break next Monday when that time comes to take some time, of course, taking some time to celebrate the holidays and, athletes to be with their families and, just give them some time off, a break from asking them all these questions. So, but yes, happy Thanksgiving from the Inside the Dam, from all of us here at the Inside the Dam podcast. And Marie, I believe that is all of it. So yeah, you can take that off there. And thank you, of course, goes out to Marie Audette for stepping in again tonight for camera switching and showing off all the graphics and displaying them on the screen for you guys. Of course, thank you for tuning in, as always, on the KMSU podcast live stream. We'll have a copy made on the MSU Beavers channel momentarily, a couple days here within the week. But again, just to recap once more, Bella Hernandez from women's wrestling, Kelby, Armstrong, and Wayne Joint from men's wrestling. The wrestling theme is the name of the game here tonight. We thank you guys all for tuning in, and we'll be back. We'll see you all in 2 weeks' time. But once more, happy Thanksgiving. You guys have a good rest of your night.